Be live now. Shout out to my people that's going to be coming in on YouTube. What's up? What's up? We're preparing for another broadcast slash podcast slash X space over here on X. Shout out to all my people that's going to be coming in on YouTube, listening to the actual broadcast tonight. Shout out to my people that's going to be coming in on X as well too. As always, our people are on color time, so we'll give our people some time to get up in here. But tonight we hope to have another interesting discussion. We're going to be talking about a town that recently was plagued by some neo Nazis, and some brothers got together and said, you know what, we're gonna do something about it. We're gonna hold forth. So we're gonna be discussing that. We're gonna be discussing the actual armed group of black folks up in this historic town that got up and said, you know what, we're not gonna be picked on. We're not gonna be ran through. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do what we got to do as well too. So as our people start coming in, we will dig into that discussion. For those coming in on YouTube tonight, make sure you go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment as well too. Shout out Black Vanguard. I see you up in here as well too. See some of the stuff you be doing up in the community. So shout out to you. Shout out to Keith. Our people slow coming in tonight, but we'll give them some time before we start to go ahead and touch in and dig in on that article as well too. So I look forward to the conversation as always. I look forward to the conversation as always. If you missed last night's broadcast, it's on YouTube. It's available on YouTube. It was a good discussion last night. So definitely go in. We was talking about the protections that had been lifted on the Haitians, the Nicaraguans, the Venezuelans, and the Cubans. Over 530,000 people could be potentially impacted by that. So we had a pretty good conversation last night, and I'm hoping that this conversation tonight will also be a very interesting one as well too. Like I said, we see the rise in white supremacy nationwide. Shout out to Ray. I see you coming up in here as well too. Make sure y'all go ahead and retweet out the space as well too. Make sure y'all go ahead and retweet the space out. But we see the rise in white supremacy and everything else. And shout out to these brothers. They look like they borrowed a page from back in the day with the Panthers, how they was out there. They was deep out there, and they holding for it right now. They holding for it right now. They having they're protecting it, and like I said, we're gonna definitely touch up on that. And I look forward to hearing what everybody's got to say as well too. Should be an interesting discussion. Definitely look forward to hearing what some of the black men got to say as well too, because I see some brothers out there, and that's not to say they may not have some sisters out there as well too, but the brothers right now, they holding fort down there. What's up, Ray? What's going on with you tonight?
I'm good, man. I was a little busy last night. That's why I wanted to, just drop into space, but didn't really say much. I wanted to get your opinion on something, man. I think they do it because they want to get our reaction. So it's about the National Conservative. It says, on this day in 1944, America was stunned by the savage murders of Junie Bickner and Mary Thames in South Carolina. George Stinney, age 14, bashed their skulls in with a railroad spike. He became the youngest killer to receive the death penalty ever. Now, we all know that obviously decades later, this brother was exonerated of these crimes. And they know this. This is very well documented. It's even on his tombstone about how his brother was wronged. Why now are they trying to bash this brother after he's been dead for, I would say, at least 40, 50 years? Because this kind of ties in, I think, with the neo-Nazis. That's why I wanted to ask you if you had a chance to see that.
No, that's my first time actually hearing about it, Ray. Thank you for bringing it up. And you're saying that they now this group of conservatives was basically trying to they're basically trying to drag his name, is what you're trying to say, basically.
Absolutely. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can put it in the jumbotron. God, I forgot. It's been so long since I did this. But here it is. Let me see. So it should be the only thing in there, because today was a day, those murders back in 1944. So I don't know why, it's just so weird because, like I said, everyone knows that his brother was innocent. He was an innocent child. There's no way he could have been able to do what he did, and they just trying to, just drag his name through the dirt like this.
Yeah, that's just another attack on black people right there as well too. Because like you said, I saw something. I saw briefly, and I haven't got a chance to read it, but I saw something where somebody left a comment about the activist judge basically. I guess they waive they pretty much pardoned or whatever. So apparently, this young kid losing his life or whatever. It was an activist judge and stuff that did. That's
Hey, son. Look what the police gave me. What the police gave you? A badge? Good job, son.
Got the
So put
young.
that down, okay? I'll put it back on. Okay, son.
But yeah, it's just.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was on speaker. My bad.
Yeah, it was on speaker. But yeah, it was just, it's just another shot at black Americans, black men in particular. And you have these groups and stuff like that. They anti-blackness. It comes out and stuff. They, like I say, sometimes these people, they can't contain it. They can't hold it when they have this deep-seated hatred about black people or whatever, knowing that the case was BS, like you said. But here comes this group right here, this conservative group, and the youngest black that do this. So get out of here, man. Get out of here.
What is it about us? We're not even trying to hurt these people, and they just stay with us on their brain. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. Like, I mean, come on, this brother's been dead since what, the 40s, and y'all still trying to drag his name?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all instantly what happened too. Same thing with Trump versus office back in 2016. We ran the month. My bad. I was about to cuss for a second. I forgot the space I was in for a second. My bad. But in 2018, the Oath Keepers came to South Central Los Angeles back in 2018 in Maxine Waters' office. So they spreaded that they was going Maxine Waters' office. She knows she's Maxine Waters' Democrat though, but they was going right in the middle of the black community though. So a few hundred of us came down there. And we ran the Oath Keepers up out the community, though, up all throughout South Central, especially on the west side of South Central. We ran the Oath Keepers up out of South Central, though. The police was trying to cape on stuff, and we didn't let them park their cars to get out. We started running them up out of there before they even stepped foot in there. And also is that, they couldn't come back. And also is that there was a sample, I think he was a temple. And we ran him up out of here, too, as well. So they did the same thing here on the South Central Los Angeles. It's a story though all over the news. Look it up. It's on chopped up 2008 Oath Keepers Los Angeles though. And it should pop up though. I was there. It was a few hundred of us ran the white supremacists about the community though. And also is that they would try to come back again, and we ran up about it too. But yeah, once in a while they might try to test the waters and see what areas they can go to. Like once in a while, though, they know the brothers and sisters out there in Ohio when they're playing, though. So yeah, they won't come back to that town no more, though. And also, it's different though too because they could imagine is that these white supremacist groups will go to like New York City because a lot of these terrorists though they don't have a history of fighting back against the white supremacist groups though. Like they could go to their communities though with no pushback though, but they go like Montgomery, Alabama. Everybody saw what the outcome happened in Montgomery, Alabama. Same thing in Los Angeles, though, when the Oath Keepers came back in 2018. People saw the outcome of that, but also people saw the outcome of this Ohio situation. And also, with I think what's his name that with the white supremacists killed that black person out there in Georgia, Arbery or something like that.
Yeah, Ahmaud.
Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of people start doing marches over here too, in that area though too, to show them that we come for you too. So they know who they can try who they can't though. But the terrorists though, they can easily get them though because they don't have a history. See, we have a 400+ history of fighting these white supremacists on the soil though. That's why these other groups though. That's why what's going on with deportation going on. That's why they want foundational Black Americans come to their defense though, because they know we've been fighting. We kind of know very well though. We've been trying to tell these other groups since they've been over here large numbers since the 60s and 70s that these white folks will turn you too. And you already see them turn against the Hispanics though. And also, I read some that they trying to deport the legal immigrants though, people that got the green card, legal residents, people that got H-1B visas. He's revoking the H-1B visas. And also, he's about to sign an executive order and ban sanctuary cities though in this country. I think about 2 days to a week. He about to sign an executive order to ban all sanctuary cities though. And then he about to start charging all these sanctuary city mayors and governors though with federal charges though that still want to have sanctuary cities. So it's about to be a whole lot of stuff about to go down. And then they gonna ask Black Racial for defense. Same thing going on with Jasmine Crocket's situation. You know, Jasmine Crocket's got charges put on her. Are you aware of that, Shorter?
You say she got charges put on. Now you talking about the Elon Musk thing?
Yeah, she did. No, it was a reporter. She was a reporter trying to interview her, and she smacked the camera from his hand. No, too. So they filed charges on Jasmine Crockett. So I think it's today.
Oh, okay, I think I did. I heard something about they were talking about that they could press charges on it, but I didn't know that they had actually. I think I tweeted something out earlier. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah, she did.
They were saying that they were talking about that they could possibly file charges on her, but I didn't know that they actually went through and actually did it.
Yeah, they did it though. Yep, it's actually official. I think a few hours ago though, they actually officially filed charges against Jasmine Crockett though. Yeah, but yeah, so is that. Even the Boulay class, though, they want the Black Racials come to their defense. We're not saving these other people. See, people that got these federal jobs, though, they didn't use their federal contractor jobs to employ help out the Black community. All these Black federal contractors that got all these hundreds of thousands, $1 million contracts, they can be using their federal contracts under the Biden Harris administration to use that to employ their people. They chose to be themselves, though, but now Trump got rid of DI programs, stuff like that, which I support that because DI don't basically benefit white women. Over 80% of the biggest beneficiaries of DI is white women. They make over 77, 80%. We only like 2 or 3% of the DI programs, though, and like 3 or 4% federal contracts, though. So at least people that benefit from that, though. But they could use their federal powers to help out the Black community, though, but they choose not to.
Yeah, I didn't. I gotta because like I said, I know they was talking about that was a possibility about them, but I had been off of the I hadn't been on here. I just started before the space started. I posted some content and stuff, some news, some entertainment and stuff like that. So I didn't get a chance to check it out, but I definitely Vanguard put that up in the Jumbotron so everybody can take a look at that as well too. Because like I said, I saw earlier they was talking about they could potentially charge her or whatever, but I didn't know that it actually went through as well too. So if you get a chance, if you don't mind posting that in the Jumbotron so everybody can take a look at that. Shout out to everybody coming up in the room. Make sure you retweet. What's up, Original? What's up, Re-Rob? What's up with you, John? What's up with you, HD3? Yeah, we're gonna get ready to we want to dive into this topic tonight. Like I said, when before some of y'all came in the room, I think was it last week or something like that, where you had up, and it actually was the week before, but you had the neo-Nazis come and march and do their thing and show off and everything else like that. So then these these black folks got together and decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna flex our muscle as well too. We're gonna show you that we're not an easy lick. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna touch up on that article right now. Let me get that article. DJ, what's up? You in the space?
Ski Yee, News Total Up. Make sure y'all share the room. We live on YouTube too. And on Funded Social. Come on over.
Yes, sir. Let me find that article real quick and read it. It's from the Chicago Defender, another black-owned newspaper. You guys check out the Chicago Defender. It's titled Majority Black Town Launches Armed Protection Group at the Neo-Nazi Rally. Residents of a historic black town in Ohio have launched an armed protection group after facing attacks from neo-Nazis. According to NBC News, Lincoln Heights, an area widely known as the first all-black self-governing city north of the Mason-Dixon line, started a safety and watch program to protect its residents from future racist attacks following a neo-Nazi rally last month. Dozens of neo-Nazis waved swastika flags and shouted racial slurs on the highway overpass just on the edge of the majority black community during the February 7th demonstration. The group also brandished a sign that read, "America for the White Man." Officers from Evandale, a town that borders Lincoln Heights, and the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office responded to the rally, but no arrests were made. Authorities also declined to take down names or identity of any members of the neo-Nazi group. In a statement, Avondale Mayor Richard Fain said the officers were focused on de-escalation, which resulted in the incident's resolution without injuries to any of the persons involved, passerbys or law enforcement officers. Doing this evolving scene, protecting life took priority over intermediate identification. Lincoln Heights residents expressed concern over the police response to the incident, prompting members of the Heights Movement, an existing community empowerment organization, to create Safety and Watch program. Durance Daniels, a spokesperson for the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch program, said police have been very clear that if it happens again, they will allow it to happen again, that their hands are tied. The Safety and Watch program includes armed volunteers who patrol the area wearing tactical gear and face coverings. Ohio state law allows anyone who can legally own a gun to open carry without a permit. Yard signs that read, "We support Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch," can be seen throughout the town. Safety and Watch volunteers recently stood guard near a local elementary school to ward off any potential harassment from hate groups. "I've never felt safer as a Black man in my community than I have right now," Daniel said. "These are my friends. These are my cousins, my brothers, my sisters, my aunties." So shout out to them, man, taking things into their own hand and like, hey, you know what? We're not gonna allow any harm to come to the community. So they're even over there Gardner Elementary School as well too. And I didn't know what was fascinating about it is that how historic this town is and everything else as well too. Because I didn't before this actual article, I didn't know that they were the first all-Black self-governing city north of the Mason-Dixon line. So they are a historical city. And they're taking actions into their own hand. And, I can definitely respect that as well, too. So shout out to them. I got my man Original coming up here as well, too. So, I mean, this is the kind of actions that you do need to see. Shout out to Nightfall over there on YouTube as well, too. Shout out to you, Nightfall, as well. But, yeah, this is the kind of action and these people came, they demonstrated, they wanted to flex, white power, and they know what they were doing. Get it? I mean, they knew exactly the town they were coming in. And see, they thought this was like a scene out of 1940s or something, that we're gonna come in here and we're gonna shake these Negroes up and this and that or whatever. Now you got these brothers out here flexing, Hold on one second, Black. Hold on one second. Now you got these brothers out here flexing, their firearms, walking up and down the street. They got they ski masks on, they got everything. They covered up and whatnot. And they're like, hey, you know what? If it's gonna pop off, it's gonna pop off. But if it pops off, you ain't gonna like it. So I doubt seriously, and let's see now that because I know they didn't got the memo, and I know they didn't heard that, hey, these Negroes over there, they toting, they carrying them over there. Let's see how often they come walking up and down the street again. Let's see how often they come flexing muscles with their signs. How about this is the white man's country and this and that or whatever. In this historic Black town, self-governing Black town, So I definitely want to see it pop off. Go ahead, Black Vanguard, you got it.
Yeah, so I got two things. In 2018, they did the same thing, went to a historical Black community in Los Angeles, go up and down Crenshaw and up and down with Maxine Waters' office at. They went over there, the Oath Keepers, the white supremacists group, trying to come up there and flex their muscles. They got run up about the community, though. So in 2018, they tried a very similar thing out here in Los Angeles, though, but they got run out the block, too. So we started doing community patrols all throughout the majority Black areas in Los Angeles, though, after that situation started happening more thoroughly, though. But, yeah, and also, the other thing I put in Jumbotron is about Jasmine Parker, though. That charge have been filed with Jasmine Parker, though. And she gonna be trying to get the Black grassroots support over, but it ain't gonna be none over. That's two videos I put in Jumbotron.
All right, appreciate that, Black Vanguard. What's going on with your Original? I know you heard this story as well too. So down south, sometimes because I think, back in the day, you had some one of the neighboring cities here in Tallahassee, a little small town. You had the Klan come out there, and they were gonna flex, and they were gonna show off for everybody as well too. Man, these little country Negroes beat the hell out these boys, ran them up out that little town. But what's going on with your Original?
Hey, just enjoying what you and Black Vanguard have shared with us. See, that's
That's the issue right there. See, these white folks, they don't change. They think they can still run the same crap that they ran on us back in the 20s and on up. They fail to understand. See, just like, remember that book, Negroes with Guns? What's his name? Robert F. Williams. And see, the white folks got scared. They was going somewhere. And so the police pulled up behind them, pulling them over. And they stepped out with their gun. The police stepped out with their guns. And this old white boy said, "Oh, Lord, what we going to do?" Said, "The Negroes got guns." And see, they don't think that we will go after them. But everything that they've done to us, a lot of us, we're not holding back. If they pop this thing off, they don't know how many of us have weaponry. And nobody's telling what they have, and rightfully so. They don't need to know. Just like they got stockpiles of guns, there are black people across this country, they have the same thing. They're keeping it. I mean, they got their stockpiles of ammunitions and guns. So anything pop off, we will be able to defend ourselves. And that's what they don't want to understand. I think this was a test to see how the black people would respond. And I am so proud of all of those brothers and sisters that stood up and said, "No, you're not doing this today. You might have got away with that years ago." And what's interesting is this, how the police talking about they're trying to de-escalate. We all know the police and the white supremacists, they work hand in hand together with each other. But if they had started some stuff, I'm just so grateful that that the brothers and sisters, because I saw some of the sisters carrying guns too. I ain't mad at them. Arm yourself, because your man may not always be there to protect you. But just like you remember, did you see? I think you may have seen this Post news story where this little 6-year-old girl, the police was attacking her mother, and she knew where the gun was in the car. She got the gun and shot the police in the head, rightfully so. Okay, and they didn't charge her or the mother. And somebody had posted a post asking, what's the age of teaching your child how to use a gun? I would say as soon as they're able, 5, whatever. But this little girl was 6. You teach them, if you think they're able at 5 to understand, teach them the importance of a gun. Because see, in our community, as we know, the NAACP is not a black organization. They've always said, "What? Guns are dangerous. We don't need guns, da 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 da." But see, our people do need guns. And we look at these people anyone that's telling us we don't need guns, that's an enemy. And so we have to look at people of like mindset, and just like we connect on different issues across this country, we need to connect on guns too, and our land.
But originally the crazy thing was that the police they of course they didn't arrest anybody, they didn't get any names, they didn't want to identify anybody and this and that, whatever. And based on the article, the protection group is saying, hey, you know what? They pretty much already told us that if they come back again, there's nothing that they can do, that their hands are tied or whatever. So they're sitting there and they say, you know what? We're not going to be the victim. We're not going to sit here and wait or whatever. You already told us that if they come here, there's nothing you can do. You didn't want to get anybody's name. You didn't want to do anything like that. Now, if you and I and a bunch of black dudes came marching through a historic white town, and we had hateful signs and stuff like that as well too. Don't you know, if we didn't get arrested, the very least these white folks gonna do is take our name down. They gonna know exactly where we live at, who we related to, and everything else like that too. So they're already trying to go ahead, and they're already trying to say, you know what? We can't do this and we can't do that. And them brothers, they just send a message here. They say, well, if you can't do it, if you're unable to protect taxpaying citizens in a historical town, then you know what? We'll protect ourselves as well too. So, like I say, I told everybody too, I want to see them come back in there. Now that they see that
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Don't they have to have a permit in order to have some kind of protest or something? Because if they do, the police already have their names and addresses. Or they got the person that was holding the protest, they got their name and address. I mean, this is all foolishness. See, They only do this when it comes to us. And when we stand up to defend ourselves, see, I'm like this. If something pop off and some white folks get killed, I didn't see nothing. I don't care if you got me on camera. I didn't see anything. Because I'm going to treat them the same way that they treat us. They don't give a damn about us, and I don't give a damn about them. That's just how it is. You know, enough of this stuff is enough. And that we're no longer going along with this stuff. And they can try all they want, but they're gonna be some dead white folks, because black people just ain't putting up with that these days. See, they got away with that with our forebears, because a lot of our forebears did not own guns. Because see, how we always was told, like, you know, guns are dangerous. My father was shot and killed, but you know what? My mother always owned a gun, so she didn't let that stop her from being able to protect herself and her children. So these old people like the NAACP and the Urban League and others, these are all white organizations that are not designed to protect or do anything for black people. They're designed to exploit us. That's their only vein of existence, to to exploit us and teach us to just be passive people. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not going down that road with you. You on your own with that, and I land.
Hey, Black Vanguard, you out there in California, right? Black Vanguard still in? Okay, the Black Vanguard may have stepped that up.
Yeah.
You out there in California, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now I know you were saying something before, but do you guys have that issue out there in California? Because normally when we think about these Klan type, neo-Nazi, skinhead type organizations and stuff, we generally.
Oh yeah, you do, man. You not only got to worry about the white supremacists, you got to worry about the racist, neo-Nazi style Hispanic stuff that be trying to come over here and terrorize black people, especially in Central and Southern California. Though, not so much Northern California. You got to worry about the white folks. Most of Northern California, but in Central Southern California, you got to worry about the whites, the Hispanics, and sometimes the Asians. Though, but yeah, they don't come to the majority black areas with that bullshit. They mostly go to areas that where they're the majority at, though. And also in my home state in Oklahoma, though, the neo-Nazis, they stay on the outskirts of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City. They don't go to Oklahoma City because Oklahoma is Oklahoma Carry State, though. So they don't go to Oklahoma City or Tulsa, Oklahoma. They go outside the outskirts where they marching over there. But California, especially the areas that we the majority of, like in the Crenshaw district, all the hills, but there are high problems in hills, high park areas, certain parts of the west side and south central. They don't, in Inglewood areas like over there, they don't do marches over there because they know that they're going to get attacked. They're going to ran off the community. They normally go to areas that white folks are invested, because out here in Southern California, Latinos ally with skinheads, neo-Nazis, or black people in Southern California, just let you know. But yeah.
All right.
Go
ahead.
What Black Vanguard said is true. I just put a post in the Purple Pill where it showed that it was an article said that Latinos leader silence is killing black folks, whereby they had an ethnic cleansing campaign going on against black folks from, like, I think it was 94 to maybe 2000. Yeah, see, Black Vanguard, no. See,
recently, there's still a lot of areas in Southern California that black people still brain light go, but it's not as bad like it was in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s. So, you go to certain areas like Azusa, El Monte, Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Baldwin Park, La Puente, a place like over there. You go to areas in certain parts of Orange County and LA County, and certain parts of Columbus, black people are still green light though, but yeah, it's not as bad though. They mostly go to areas where it's not going to see a lot of black people at, but areas a lot of black people at, they don't mess with black people though. The areas that the majority go, but but these Hispanics, especially in Southern and Central California, they're extremely anti-black to black people over though too. And also, Maxine Waters and all the people in the Democratic Party, the California Democrats, they didn't say not one word about that. They was quiet, like with I forgot that's mayor of LA, Karen Bass. When she was a congresswoman in Los Angeles, she was quiet. She is saying I won't worry about it though. The California Democrats, the California DOJ that filed no state charges against the racist Hispanic gangs that were terrorizing black people, they didn't do anything though. And also is that I don't know, have y'all worried about the LA City Council, what happened in 2022?
Right.
Man, we went over there, man, you had and this was the chance for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden off the NAACP, the Urban League, all these so-called black Democrat civil rights organizations. They didn't do that one part. It was the grassroots that actually put in the work and got Nori Martinez suspended. None of the LA Democrats, right? That was black, white, they did Maxine Waters and Karen Bass, and she didn't do nothing. She didn't use her executive authority powers to remove the racist LA City Council. And also is that you had one LA City Council person called Kevin DeLeon. Are you familiar with that person?
What's that person name you said again?
Kevin DeLeon, though.
Yeah.
He used to be a senator in California, though, but he turned out he used to have a state position making decisions over black people and stuff in California, especially Southern California, though. He used to be a senator. He got turned out, so he became the LA City Council president, though. And once he said that racist stuff, did you know that Karen Bass didn't remove him from his city council position? Did you know that the LA County Board of Supervisors didn't do anything about it? Gavin Newsom was quiet in the California, that's the Black Caucus. They were silent.
Oh, shit. Okay, we lost audio real quick. Let me see if we can get it back, y'all. Let me see if we can get it back.
Karen Bass, they use her executive powers and they'll do no investigation. The LA County Board of Supervisors, though, the California Less Than Black Caucus, they didn't pressure Gavin Newsom. They started investigating the LA City Council. They was part of that issue, though. They act like, but it was grassroots. They brought to we had a grassroots campaign. We got Kevin DeLeon out of office, though. He lost his re-election campaign last year, though, so he's out of there for good. But these Democrats in Los Angeles and California, they was firing that shit. They didn't do that one word.
Hey, try not to curse, Black, but go ahead.
My bad. But these Democrats, though, you talk to any of these California Democrats, like these California Democrats and Californians that Black Caucus, they didn't do that one word, not one thing against Nori Martinez or Kevin DeLeon, though. That's actually a civil rights specialist. That's actually a trust and justice and interfering with black people's civil rights, though. Nobody stepped in. Those on the grassroots did. So when these other groups trying to get us to support them, though, we not throwing no case for the same thing about these black Democrat-led organizations like NAACP. And Trump, he's trying to revoke the NAACP tax stats away from too, by the way.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's going after all these because a lot of these the NAACP, the Urban League, he's trying to go after their tax stats away from them. Also, is that Trump about to sign an executive order about the ban sanctuary cities in a few days or a few weeks. Once you do that, it's going to give him more power to start filing federal charges against these local, county, and state officials, though, that still want to keep the sanctuary cities, though. I'm letting my family know, the Foundation Black America Freedom Family know, when the Trump administration start filing federal charges against these black Democrat-related organizations, these organizations like NAACP and Urban League, don't stay out the way. Stand back and stand by, though. Do not stand, because these people want nowhere to be found. These people too busy fighting for immigrants and all other stuff that is fighting for Foundation Black America. That's actually a disservice to our people, though. Let Jasmine Parkers, let Maxine Waters, let all these other people help their own self, though, because these people are nowhere to be found. Also, we the one that helped Maxine Waters because Maxine Waters was being threatened back in 2018 when the old people came. They was threatened to go to her office, though. We, the black community, stood by her side back in 2018, though. But for her, says she support immigrants over Foundation of Black Americans, that's actually a disservice to our ancestors, though. So when the Trump administration started going after them, they stand back, stand by. You already see what's going on right now. That they going after Jasmine Parkers right now. They just filed charges against Jasmine Parkers, though. We not in that because Jasmine Parker said some disrespectful things like last week. She said that immigrants build America, though. That's totally disrespectful to our ancestors, though. So yeah, we not capable for these black Democrat-led politicians or these organizations or these other immigrant groups, though. They gotta fight their own battles and hold their own candle. That's all I gotta say about that situation.
And you're right, Black Vanguard. We should. I don't care what they do to Jasmine Crockett. She was on another show just talking about how, all she could do was talk about the immigrants. They never speak of us. And if you look at their on Jasmine Crockett's platform, she has combined anything that says equality, that's gay rights. Now, I know every demographic must be represented, but this crooked wig witch, she has combined on her platform, she combines civil rights with gay rights. And the two just don't go together. And so it doesn't matter if some gay people was out there helping the black folks in the 60s for civil rights, their rights doesn't get combined with ours. Because at the end of the day, they fighting against our best interests. And if you look at a lot of these black people's platforms, they will either have a generic platform where they just talking in general, or you will see them, they will have like gay rights and immigration on their platforms. They offer us nothing, and I mean nothing, for our vote. So you're right, Black Vanguard.
And also, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna say this. One last thing before I allow somebody else to speak. I want to speak. Are you worried that the head of the? I know everybody knows the head of the California the Celestial Black Caucus is a Jamaican woman, right?
Right.
Now she came out with a report saying that 5% of legal immigrants in this country are black immigrants. Though you gotta tell you why they're doing that, because you know Trump, he about to put economical and political sanctions on a lot of these Caribbean nations, though, especially in Jamaica. He's talking about putting a travel ban on Jamaica. And very, very soon, within 30 days or less, he's talking about putting a travel ban on Jamaica. He already put a travel ban on 6 Caribbean countries, trying to add Jamaica back on the travel ban list, though. So you got the California, the Celestial Black Caucus. Remember, they in panic mode right now because Trump about to put all the economical and political sanctions on a lot of these African Caribbean nations and Latino nations, though. So they in panic mode right now too. And also is that they began a lot of these Jamaicans up out of here too, especially. It was a YouTuber talk about they brought 6,200 Jamaicans out the country so far though, since Trump been in office though. And also is that they going after people that got legal status in this country, people that got H-1B visas and green cards and stuff like that. He going after them too. That means if they enter the country and come back, that means he actually broken their visas and send them back to their country though. So he's getting a lot of legal immigrants out here as well. He said that he's planning on getting rid of over 40% of legal immigrants in this country as well. So a lot of these other immigrant groups, when the deportation start getting real out here, you're gonna start seeing the Asian community, the Hispanic community more, the African and Caribbean groups gonna try to ask Black Americans for more help. And we said, no, y'all understand by us though before all this happened though. It's too late for that. Y'all on your own though.
Hey, real.
You're gonna start seeing more and more of that on the weeks and months to come. Though you're gonna start seeing that more often. They're gonna try to have a fake Black Brown coalition, a fake Asian and Black coalition. They're gonna have a fake African, Pan African coalition. Though you're gonna start seeing more of that start happening within the weeks and months to come. Trust me.
But real quick, because I want to touch back on this thing about this this armed group in this town right here as well too. How and just in everybody's opinion in the actual room, how much is it a possibility that maybe something like that could actually spread nationwide and some of these, not so much, and it doesn't have to be a majority Black town, but in some of these Black communities as well too, to go ahead and fend off against, some of the issues, whether it's police brutality, whether it's crime, whether it's drugs, whether it's whatever. I mean, because these brothers that they're going out there and people are taking notice, and they're protecting the community, they're protecting the schools and everything else like that as well too. So how much do you guys, because I know we always talk about coalitions and everything else like that. They're in Ohio, I believe. How how possible is it, for something like that? Maybe you can start some kind of chain reaction and maybe have some kind of it doesn't have to be one organization, but maybe have some kind of affiliation with them and maybe it branches off to here in Florida, out in California, Original, where you at in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and some of these other places, especially some of these places down south where we know racism is intense. You really places like Alabama and Mississippi to this day, and parts of Florida and everything else as well too. How possible is that? Original in your mindset. DJ, what's up? I hadn't heard from you too. I think you up in the space as well too. But how possible is that?
I think it's very possible. Remember, I told you, I can't think of the brother's name, but there was a brother here in Atlanta that during the civil rights movement and after everything that transpired, this brother, he always wore cowboy boots and a hat. And he kept a 38 snub stuffed down in his cowboy boots. So if anything popped off, he was always ready. See, I think a lot of us are ready for whatever pop off. But, people that just not saying anything because they don't want to tip our hand and let the enemy know exactly what we are doing. So, and I wish I could think of that brother's name. But, yeah, he always wore a cowboy hat and boots, and he kept that 38 with him. So it is very possible that, that we're just being silent and we're not saying anything so that if these people want to act crazy and they roll up on us, they're going to find out they're going to roll away on a stretcher going to the morgue. And I land.
And see, that was one great things you had about the Black Panthers and stuff like that. They did so many things in the community as well too. They gave a sense of people felt safe in the neighborhood. People felt that, hey, these guys got our back. They're looking out. They're protecting us and everything else like that as well too. On top of all the stuff that they all of the things they implemented, with food programs and everything else in the community as well too. But for the most part, and it took the government really knocking them off to really go ahead and get them off their square. But, they did so many things like that you wonder in 2025 if we don't need, not just, and it's great that it's in that one, and it's in this one city, this one town, but man, we may need this widespread throughout the entire nation. We may need, and I know they're just volunteers as well too, but, the way they're doing it, I have to tip my hat to them. John, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? I just kind of want to chime in. I actually think, it will spread to, a lot of other places, throughout America within our communities. I think, it's just about, just having a code, what I'm saying? Not necessarily having a group per se, but just kind of, through osmosis, what I'm saying? Like, if you see one black man who got it on him, and you got it on him, what I'm saying? What's understood ain't got to be explained, what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, something like that happened. We ain't even got to have a group. We just come outside with it. What I'm saying? It's like we just, because that's what they want. They want those types of groups and stuff like that. So, what I'm saying? They can actually have something to target. But biggest thing is, what I'm saying? You want to make sure that if everybody is a hard target, it makes, what I'm saying, everything a lot harder for situations like that to happen. And another thing, too, I think I overheard somebody was, they was talking about California. Places like California, New York, and stuff like that, I want y'all to pay attention. A lot of that stuff that goes on with like those, the Latinos and shit like that. My bad for cursing, but and stuff like that. That usually happens in places where you can't really own weapons. If y'all really pay attention to it, what I'm saying? All of those, hate crimes and stuff like that, they tend to take place in places where you can't really own, firearms. That's just something I kind of peep game on. New York, places where, they really, really, they're not gun friendly. I'm not saying that it don't go on in the South, but in the South, they understand you only gonna have but so many hate crimes take place, what I'm saying, until something really pop off. And I'll land.
So in New York, because you can carry, you can have guns wherever you at. You're saying that in New York that they limit people with firearms up there. I'm not particularly sure about their laws.
Yeah, New York is not a gun friendly, it's not a gun friendly state at all.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
From what I know, from what I've heard and everything like that, I don't really hear, too many people up there in New York owning, firearms. Even California. California is like you can own firearms, but then the type of stuff that you're able to do, you're not able to really you know, you ain't really able to do too much. You know what I'm saying? It's like they you know, they're really, really adamant on making sure black people out there don't have firearms. I mean, you seen what they did to Redstone Firearms. They basically, you know what I'm saying, sabotaged their business, and they couldn't, you know, really run anything up out of there. So, you know, I just noticed in areas where you can own firearms and stuff like that, you know, people are a lot nicer, you know.
Now, you said something, John, and it made sense. And I definitely got what you were saying. I definitely understand what you were saying. You were saying that, hey, you know, basically just by, you know, being on code, you don't really have to form a group or anything like that because, you know, that's what they're actually kind of looking for. So, you know, I understand what you're saying about that as well, too. But, you know, people do have like neighborhood watches and things of that nature as well, too. And this is basically a safety and watch program. So, you know, I don't know if it's anything by law, you know, and I guess, and two, I should say you should actually, you know, check the laws in your area and everything else like that. But we know neighborhood watch safety type groups, you know, that's not against the law to really form or whatever. So you could form something like that, just have volunteers and stuff like that. And I don't know if the law really, depending on where you're at, I don't know if the law really can stop you from doing that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. But
I mean, you know, I look at it like this, you know, I mean, I ain't really, you know, I'm gonna remain codified on here, you know, as I speak, but you know, look, you deputize yourself. See, that's what resistance is all about. You ain't, you know, you ain't gotta necessarily look for them to, you know what I'm saying, to sit there and try to make a law, because of course their laws they're gonna try to flip no matter what it is that you sit there and you try to do. So I just kind of look at it as, you know, through osmosis. You know, when I go to the range or anything like that, when I see another black man, I remember I went to the gun range and I saw, you know, another black dude. He was there with his son. His son was like 7. You know what I'm saying? And what's understood ain't got to be explained. I know exactly why he there. You know what I'm saying? I know why. When I go to the gun range, I see, you know, I know why y'all there. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. I look at you. We got that code. Like, what's up, bro? And I don't even know you. I see you. I got eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, it's just you understand why we here. You know what I'm saying? That's just that I understand why you here. And we ain't even got to have no conversation. It's just, I get it. You get it. I get it. Something happened. I got you. You got me. Cool. Something pop off. We ain't, all right. It is what it is. We know what we got to do. No talking. Let's get to it.
Oh, yeah. And I agree. I agree with you saying on that. My only thing was that, hey, you know, especially in some of these townships, that this town, for instance, is a historically black majority town or whatever. So, you know, you're gonna have the numbers on your side in this town or whatever. But if you, and especially like out west in some of these enclaves where, you know, you may only be 3% of the population or something like that. You might be 2%, you might be 5%, you might be 4% or something like that. I think something like this might be even more vital, even more crucial, because we hear the reports from out there in California, we hear reports out there on the West Coast and stuff, and not only the West Coast, but the Midwest and parts of the South as well too. Like when you're really outnumbered, a lot of crazy stuff can really fly. And even in some of these black majority towns and stuff like that, where, you know, the law is controlled by, you know, by people that don't look like you, you have to be very, very careful as well too. So my thing is that, hey, you know, if I'm living in a neighborhood, I'm living in a community, whatever, and me and the people, you know, like you say, it don't even have to be explained, but we understand that, hey, you know, our lives, our family, and everybody else could be in jeopardy just because of how we look and where we live at and stuff like that. That, hey, you know, maybe we need to go ahead and form something. Like, no, I'm not saying that you go out there and you file paperwork and you start a nonprofit corporation or something like that. But however you can go about doing something like that, hey man, you gotta, because we're in a crazy time, and some of these people, they're just getting more and more emboldened by, you know, the politics and everything that's changing in this country. It doesn't matter whether it's a Democrat or Republican in the office or whatever. You got certain people that see certain trends in the nation and stuff like that, and you know, next thing you know, they want an old adversary to beat on. That you know, that adversary is no longer going to be the person that sit up there and get beat on. So, you know, when you can't just beat on people, you got to go other means. And some of these means are by using weapons and using the law like you always use in your favor or whatever. So I just think that, man, hey, you know, like I said, especially our people out there in Cali, and I'm sure we got black people out there in Arizona and New Mexico and some of the states that we rarely think about. I'm sure we got black people out there in Idaho and Iowa and Oregon and the states we know are just red flowing, just, you know, ultra skinhead type places and stuff like that. Man, you got to kind of stay alert and stuff like that. And like they say, it's strength in numbers, but hey, maybe you don't have big numbers, but it's enough for y'all. It might only be 30 of y'all, but hey, and not too many people are really willing to rush up on, 30 armed black men and stuff like that. Not unless they got the law on their side or something like that as well too. So that they see 15, 20 armed Negroes, people kind of get apprehensive about that. Like, okay, well, I just thought it was one or two of them. I didn't know it was. They'll tell me the next thing is I didn't know it was a gang of them.
You'll never, if y'all ever pay attention to, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not afraid of white supremacists, because if y'all ever pay attention to the lynching photos, bro, it's only one black person that they lynching, and it's like 500 white people. But you never see literally, it's like propaganda. It's like, I remember Jason Black, he was speaking about that. He's like, dude, it's all propaganda. He said, yes, they were lynching people, but if you pay attention to it closely, it's only one black person. Maybe I've seen one photo where there was like maybe 5, but I've never seen it where it was like hundreds of black people at one time where, white people was just lynching them, just like hundreds of black people. But if you come on the scene and you see a bunch of black people, you know what I'm saying, and they ready for whatever, bro, it's a totally different vibe that you actually see, but you never see them go toe to toe with us like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just something that, you just have to pay attention to. So it's just like any ordinary predator that you come across in the wild. Like, you have to understand, the language that it speaks. And so, you have to make yourself a hard target. When you step outside, don't come off like a soft target. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Don't be giggling in everybody's face. You know what I'm saying? You just want to kind of come off like, okay, you at war. That's kind of how I operate. I'm cordial, but then, at the end of the day, I know what system I'm in. I'm behind enemy lines.
Oh, that's real too, and these neo-Nazis, these skinheads, they're the main ones that sit up here, and I mean, even though it was just a movie, something like Higher Learning, they always talk about the race wars and this and that and all this other kind of stuff. I guarantee you, these same skinheads that went up into this town when they did their little routine, they caught everybody off guard because they knew they said, hey, this is a historically black town, we're gonna make a statement. I guarantee these same skinheads, after all this just circulated, because they know. They've seen the news, they've seen the articles, they've seen all the attention that these black men done got, and these black men and they and their mask and everything else walking down the streets. They're thinking, hey, this is the last place. If they was really about that water they talking about, they go right back up there. They ain't coming back to that town. They ain't coming back to that town ever. They're gonna sit up there and they'll take that loss, because if they was really trying to pop it off, they would have came right back as soon as they heard about that. They know whatever point they was trying to prove. You got the attention of these brothers and some sisters out there too, like Original said as well too. So let's see how often they come back. Let's see if they ever come back. It was kind of like that Buffalo situation up there a couple years ago at the grocery store when this piece of garbage was sitting up here and he was doing surveillance. And his thing was attack elderly people. That's who he went after. Same with the fool Dylan Roof in the South Carolina in the church massacre. He goes up there to church and he has a soft target. He's got elderly black people up at church of all places. People sitting up at church minding their own business, worshiping and everything else. And you come up in there like a coward and you start laying people down or whatever. So no, when they know that the odds are not directly in their favor, they know it's not going to be a bunch of women and children, or it's not going to be a bunch of elderly people, 65, 70 years old, who not armed or whatever. Mindsets kind of really change at that point. They're not trying to see that. So all that show of white nationalism and we're standing up and you talk about it's the white man's country and this and that or whatever. Let's see how often they take another field trip to this town here, because I don't think they're gonna ever show their faces again. You got the attention, and that's now you got the attention. Let's see if you really want to match that energy.
Exactly, like and then you got to remember what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, what she spoke about, Nellie Fuller. Their main issue is the fear of genetic annihilation. So they really, when you understand white supremacy, they really just want to control the movements of black people. They really don't want an all-out war right now. They can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? They don't. That's something that they really genuinely don't want because it goes against the exact principle of what it is that they sit there trying to do. So they're just trying to figure out different ways on, how do we control the Negroes. But, I'll just land there for now.
A quick question I want to ask you, John. What area of the country, what state are you located in?
I'm actually in Hawaii.
Oh, okay, Hawaii. So I would imagine, Hawaii, I wouldn't think you would have those but I mean, Hawaii is part of America. I don't know I don't know what type of groups and stuff out there, whatever. I don't know. I don't even know the amount of black people that's actually out there. I know you had a lot of black guys that used to be stationed in Hawaii when they were in the service and things of that nature as well, too. So I'm not entirely sure, but just checking. I thought she was maybe somewhere in the lower 48. So I guess Hawaii and Alaska, they would kind of be different enclaves as well, too. But definitely. Original DJ, what's up, DJ? You up in the space?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, fellas? Shout out to the roll, man. What's going on, News Talk?
Now, you up there in Jersey, DJ. Do y'all ever have any instances like that where you have these white supremacist, nationalist skinheads and stuff like that marching, trying to go ahead and I guess strike fear and y'all up there?
Nah, they ain't never try nothing like that up here. they wouldn't make it out of the tri-state, B. Trust me, you know what I'm saying? You got some white folks up here that will put in work on those same white folks, in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. You know what I mean? Where certain white folks up here getting out of line with our people. I done seen other white folks, man. Who you talking to, Pop? You know what I'm saying? Straight up, go on top of them. You know what I mean? White folks around here don't always play with that, with their people like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't even like their own people in that sense. A lot of these so-called patriot Americans, they want these white new folks that's coming here out of here immediately. Because that's all you see across the internet is white folks complaining about Haldeman and Trump. Why you only getting the Latinos and then the black immigrants or whatever out of here? Get these European Germans. Come get these Ukrainians. We don't like these people. Come get them up out of here. So, we got something in common in that sense, but as far as the neo-Nazi coming to the town out there in Ohio, that right there is just a facade or aka, a false flag or a psyop, you know what I'm saying, at this point. Because it's really just used to get black people wild up. So in defense of that, black people, to defend yourself at all costs, don't let no one pull no wall over your head. And don't let nobody come into town being on a BS. Check them just like our folks is checking them right now. And I did hear what you said before about, them black folks out there, they got to protect themselves as far as not show their identity. You feel what I'm saying? Well, the folks in the town know who them people are. It's the neo-Nazis who wants to know who they are. So you ain't going to come to my neighborhood trying to identify me, and you come to my job, you be at my home, be there, harassing my family, my wife, my kids, you know what I'm saying? That ain't going to go down like that. And as far as these white folks up here, in New Jersey, as far as doing anything Nazi, I'm not saying that they're not here in New Jersey. New Jersey is very precious. You know what I'm saying? This is why I call New Jersey the Jim Crow of the North. But the problem is with the prejudiceness up here, it's under the table, meaning it's hidden. But you'll see it throughout the day as your day goes, your daily activities or whatever. You'll see it. It's not like certain parts maybe in the South where they might just blatantly call you the N-word and not care. They wouldn't do that up here. That's said behind your back and under their breath. But that's how they really feel. So it's that's why I don't hang around nobody no more. Be by myself up here, man. But go ahead.
Like I was saying before too, how do you feel about the by having something like this and a lot of black towns like our own little watch group and everything else like that, they go ahead and patrol against outside agitators and potential threats as well too. Like I say, because especially in areas where if you're in Atlanta or something like that, you're in Baltimore, in areas that black people that in high numbers or whatever, that's one thing. But if you're in an area where you got 2, 3, 4, 5% of the population, that's all you are. Because we constantly hear stuff out there in California. Remember we did that I think that one space where you had some of the parents was complaining that out there in California, I think that the kids was getting bullied so bad by Latinos and stuff at the schools, and nobody was really doing anything, and nobody really talked about it because, hey, people look at it this way. A lot of people say, well, Latinos are minorities and stuff like that too, but black people were something like 1 or 2% of the population. I forgot what city it was out there that it really, really, for the longest, nobody really gave a damn about it.
I know what you're talking about too, but just to make a long story short about that, and it's not to piss anyone off, but it's just really honestly, it's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Our folks out of California, you gotta understand one thing: the cost of inflation is gonna cause y'all to be homeless out there. The vast majority of our folks out there are actually homeless or can't afford to live out there. So it ain't no need for y'all to stay out there, regardless if we settle that part of the country. You know what I mean? So the real logic is, why aren't black cities and towns and states doing it already? You know what I'm saying? Arming yourself, having neighborhood watch, doing this, doing that, and the third, being in a community kind of like we used to before the drug era came into the place, and everyone started getting high and on crack, and then the next thing you know, we ain't a family no more. We stealing from each other, we harming each other, people dying. So it's like, hey, we got to get back to that nuclear family neighborhood, black town structure where our ancestors and elders once had in places like Tulsa and other places like Rosewood, and you know what I mean? So many other places, Soul City, we can just go on and on and on and on. Now, like I said, my family is originally not from New Jersey. We are from Virginia and North Carolina. My grandfather went to New Jersey and came back and got my grandmother later on. Now, my father's side, I don't really speak to them too much, so I don't really know the history of what they did or didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is on that one. But I'm like, what, second or third generation North, born and raised, you know what I mean? So my folks was here before the riots, and when the riots happened up here, right? Let me tell you something that actually just simplistically happened after everything, the dust was settled or whatever. The white folks got low in what we call white flight. That's right. They just packed up and left and went towards higher hills of other parts of Essex County. They went over to Union County, obviously Hudson County, Bayonne area, other parts of Middlesex and Morris County where it's rich as hell out there. And for years and years and years after the riots, black people couldn't go out to them neighborhoods. You may think it's a melting pot now because of the way things are. You got ruckus out there, New Brunswick, you know what I'm saying? We still ain't allowed out there like you think we are. So, New Jersey, anywhere in New Jersey may not be a sundown town, but there are sundown towns in New Jersey. You go to Wildwood, New Jersey, Adams experience sundown type behavior there. You know what I'm saying? And this is a landmark tourist attraction, beach area. You know what I'm saying? Amusement park, Wildwood, New Jersey. As a kid, you go to Seaside Heights. That's another beach. We got a lot of beaches out here in New Jersey. You go to Seaside Heights. You experience racism from the police and stuff out there because they see a bunch of black people walking. But why you ain't harassing these white kids over here walking that's drunk coming from the bar, causing ruckus and disturbing the peace? See that? It's just as prejudiced out here as it is in Mississippi. It's just underhanded. That's the only real argument. So to answer your question of why we ain't protecting our towns already as is, or should we do it? Yeah, the answer is yeah, we should be doing that every day. Hey neighbor, everything good? You need some extra sugar for your coffee in the morning? All right, come on over, I got you. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that no more up here. This is why things like the Black State of America idea, shout out to Black State, is the best idea for folks that are living in places like California and New Jersey, where we are not the vast majority under any circumstances. So again, this is not to hurt anyone's feelings. When things like that go down in California, Negroes over here can't help you, yo. Same thing with the Maoris, the black farmer out in Colorado, was that Silver Springs, Colorado, or whatever. We all can't just up and go. We don't have the means to go out there. Yo, what's that? What's happening, B? Who out here doing what? You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about what they did to that man too, and how they harassed his family, where they killed his ranch handler and hog-timed him, left him for dead right there. They killed his animals, left him for dead out there. You know what I'm saying? For the coyotes and other wildlife to come on the farm and get them afterwards. So now you attracted predators for no reason because they smell blood. You know what I mean? And the white police out there ain't did nothing. It took the black media, us here, and everyone else to bring light to the situation. Hey, yo, this is happening. And then some of our folks got wind of it and then went out there and woo-de-woo-de-woo. But, and then, you know, and then there was other things that happened, like, you know, the Mrs. Maurer was saying, you know, she came up and told her story. You know what I'm saying? She told her truth. That one day I was in the bathroom, showering, and one of them cracker farmers that lived down the road from me, because she said she knew him, came up in her house while she was taking a shower. You know what I'm saying? This woman ain't got no, this black sister ain't got no clothes on at the moment. Think about that. But guess what she had right there by the shower? Yeah, the toothbrush and a dryer for the hair, but she also had that real heater, that motherfucking snub. Excuse my French, that snub. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, backed them down and walked them out the house with no clothes on. If you remember, she said that up there. You know what I'm saying? So the police did nothing. No reports were filed or anything like that. So when we come into these type of situations where it's like, hey, we're outnumbered, the only thing logical for us to do is start grouping up. Now, for those Californians, hopefully you get your reparations within the next year. And then even if you do, make sure you start, or prior to getting your check, rather, to start looking for land to purchase out here in the black state. Even if you ain't planning on leaving California, that's your home, rightfully so. It's just that Negroes, the other, 42 million of us can't come help the 2 million y'all out there in that sense. We don't have the means. We already outnumbered in this country. So the logical means, because y'all getting anti-black racism out there in California, you're getting your houses firebombed, your church, Black Vanguard tell you every day. I don't have to explain this. Y'all got to get out of California. For the same reasons, black New Jerseyans got to get out of New Jersey. Black New York City folks got to get out of New York City. Same thing with the folks in the state. But let's not forget about what happened with Buffalo, the Buffalo massacre at Top Supermarket. That's how I met you, News Total. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, looking for information on that. Your newstotal.com was the only one that displayed any type of curated news about the Buffalo massacre to our peoples up there at the Top Supermarket. And remember, this white devil, Peyton Gingeron, he a first generation born, I think a German immigrant. He lived 4 hours away from Buffalo. This joker drove 4 hours from his hometown up in upstate New York and drove upstate to Buffalo and slaughtered our people, man. And for what? This all a setup, man. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, shout out to Aaron Slater, I believe the brother's name was, the guard at the Tops. He was a military veteran and he was a security former police too. And I know a lot of our folks sit up there with the conspiracy and say, hey, look, you know, they might have killed that brother because he had a head on that water gas engine. And rightfully so, we believe that too. But he's not the originator of that invention either. You feel what I'm saying? So, but these corporations, these Fortune 500 companies, they don't want stuff like that coming to light where you can just go turn your faucet on and fill your truck up and be gone. They don't want that because it's going to break the country. It's going to break the economies of the multiple countries. All of a sudden, you don't need no gas. Oh, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Word up. About to go get one of these junk cars out of the junkyard and start it up. You feel what I'm saying? But also remember, Aaron Slater, he shot Peyton Gingeron straight in the head, but it didn't penetrate his slug. Why? Because this joker came in with level 4 armor, yo. Level 4 armor. Where did you get that from? You know what I mean? You're under 21 years old. Where did you get this armament from? Well, the ATF, who always up black people's butts when we go purchase a gun legally, we got to fill out all this application and get asked for our 5th grade report card. Well, it says right here, original, sir, you're not smarter than a 5th grader, so we can't issue you a 2A license, sir. Sorry about that. Come back within a year after the, criteria dating and reapplying is up. There goes that. Okay, in New Jersey, right? Governor Murphy recently lost this Supreme Court hearing. It comes to gun advocacy rights out here in New Jersey. The Supreme Court told Murphy, hey, You can't tell your citizens how they can protect themselves. Criminals pretty much got guns, bro. So you could get your concealed carry gun license out here in New Jersey. And ever since that happened, all I see is armories and gunsmith shops, and shooting ranges popping up everywhere now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so if you got a tax idea and maybe got an idea for a business, you might want to go open up a shooting range, man. You know, a lot of them are indoors nowadays. It might be a good investment, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to learn how to protect yourself. Remember, when we were emancipated, they didn't give our ancestors any arms to protect themselves from these devils that was still trying to lynch and kill us. Lake Lanier, a.k.a. the Devil's Punch Bowl, they led our people to a certain part of the neighborhood and murdered them. Shot them in cold blood, didn't give them a chance to defend themselves, none of that stuff. See that? But there's multiple riots like that, or lynchings and massacres that don't happen across this country. That it mainly involves our people. So arm yourself always. 14A over 2A. Your 14th Amendment right guarantees you the right to bear arms as a descendant of emancipated slaves. And Trump also says, since we're talking about protection and all this other stuff, and, you know, Trump going hammer on him, a MAGA-lagger, you know what I mean? Hey, Trump said that, hey, yeah, you built this country, black people, you know, and birthright citizenship was only for the descendant of slaves. So therefore, meaning, since you had these neo-Nazis come over here and try to, you know, show up and show out or whatever the case be, they going FAFO. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Trump, we want them deported, yo. That birthright citizenship is over with. You made threats to the most sacred people that's on this earth right here. Black Americans, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, we need to start making sure we look into that too, since we're talking about birthright citizenship. Some of y'all great-grandparents more or less came over here on a boat. So therefore, meaning you're not an American. You're not an American in that sense. And then since Trump, the president himself, said that, that means your status as a citizen can be revoked. We need to make sure we go find who these Nazis is, names, addresses, stay codified, Brother Moko. I want them numbers. And report them and get them up out of here. Hey, ICE, Tom Harmon, go get your people up out of here too. Since they was doing that and you already saw what it was, they're not allowed to do that. And why they flying Nazi flags versus Confederate flags? That's another thing. Didn't we beat the dog crap out of the Germans for that? That's right, you gang. It was our people that freed y'all, just as well as some of these other white folks, your cousins. You know what I'm saying? So we need a little bit of respect and some free housing. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to need y'all Jew Americans to start scamming the welfare system too, because it don't look good. And as far as USAID goes, hey, Elon, make sure y'all stop all aid going to Israel. As far as USAID too, if the Congolese can't get no rice, while we send the rice over to Israel, they don't do anything for us. What do the Israel do over here for black people? Or not even, I ain't gonna say black people, America in general. Nothing. So what the heck we need these people for? These so-called Jew Americans that's here every day in New York City, other places in New Jersey. What the heck do they do for the state you live in? Nothing. I was just saying this because you know, you got one of these Asian jokers over here, Ill Will and Natasha Harlan show, saying that it was okay for the Korean lady to shoot and kill him. Real talk, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's the anniversary of that, you know what I mean? So, hold up a minute, homie. Asian hate is fake. You already know no matter where you at in Asia, y'all don't like black, melanated looking people. You see what I'm saying? And let's not forget, it was these Asians that recently just ended affirmative action, only to have it backfire on them, and now you can't get in a Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. But that's just really meant you're not as smart as you think you are. Y'all Asians are not that smart. Don't forget the college admission scandal. A lot of them Asians was getting caught up, and they wasn't even Asian American. They was straight from China and Japan and other parts of Asia. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, meaning they were paying their way for their dumbass kids to get into these prestigious schools to say on their degree, oh yeah, I graduated from here. But you stupid, you didn't do the work. This is why we have to do the work and always have done the work by keeping our face in our books. And when we go get these jobs, it ain't based off merit like Trump said. You feel what I'm saying? is based off skin color and ethnicity of these other people. You feel what I'm saying? There's always a Karen at the helm, gatekeeping, guarding the money. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, and look, to our sisters, a lot of y'all work at these places. Y'all gonna have to start doing some gatekeeping too in these offices. When these white folks come up in there, man, deny that all day. No, I'm denying your loan. It says right here, you ain't pay your school loans back. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Or you need an emergency loan because your house got flooded. Hey, since you didn't have the right type of insurance anyway, the answer is no. You know what I mean? Yeah, start helping our people out a little bit more, even though you know the loan ain't accurate. Because when a housing bubble happened, these crackers over in Wall Street was giving our people housing loans when they knew we couldn't afford it in the first place. And they overpriced it and hiked up the premium and the interest rate on top of that. So that way you would eventually have to turn around and sell it. And go broke and be homeless too. So when we talk about, hey, arming up and all this other stuff, yeah, we need to be doing that in multiple ways. Not just with the guns, you know what I'm saying? We need to be arming up with the books, the money, the legislation, everything. Get your strap, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your strap might be a pen. It may be your voice. It ain't got to be a slug. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be that no more because we ain't fighting in that sense no more. It just look good on paper that the Nazis come out there and they just really want to see what Negroes got a pistol. What type of pistol you coming out with? And shout out to Black Rambo. We got the most guns too. Stop it being on you, man.
All right. Appreciate that, DJ. Brother Moku, I see you up in the spot tonight as well, too. Did you want to jump in the conversation?
No, I was just listening. Give a shout out to News Total, #1 Black news carrier in the universe. You know what I do.
Yes, sir. What about you, Original? And anybody else in the listener section, because this is going to be a short space tonight. We're gonna probably close this one before 10 o'clock. But anybody that wants to speak, Original, I know you up here as well, too. Shout out to you guys that's down there. I see Miss Shannon, Andre, Nappy, James. Shout out to all you guys that's up in the space. Shout out to you, Opalaka, as well, too. Got to read a comment. I'm in purgatory till the Most High comes, says Black people have been gang banging for the last 80 years in Cali. I don't know. For the last 80 years, wouldn't that be what, 1945? You saying that Black people have been gang banging since 45 in Cali? I don't know. Pretty interesting thought there. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, and I was about to say that don't even sound accurate because gangs started in Chicago. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you might have had neighborhood crews because that's what a gang was back then. A neighborhood sect of your block, Martin Luther King Boulevard boys. You feel what I'm saying? Don't go on Smith Street, mess with the Smith Street boys. You feel what I'm saying? Don't come over here on High Street, bro. You already know the Johnson family run this. Johnson family live in every other house.
And not only that, DJ, but from what my understanding that the gangs actually formed out there as a form of protection because like they were getting jacked up and they be going to these neighborhoods and stuff. I think in the late 50s, 60s and stuff, these black guys be going to neighborhoods. A group of white kids, white folks start chasing them and beating the hell out of them and stuff like that as well too. So all of that, that came as a retaliation against you just being assaulted all the time and stuff like that. Like, hey, we getting whooped on and this and that or whatever. Let's go ahead and get our numbers up and do this and fight back or whatever. So 1945, I don't know nothing about no black people gang banging in no California, no 1945. Now I could be wrong. We got Twizzler coming up here. Twizzler's out there in Cali, but I ain't never heard nothing about no black people in the 40s up here gang banging in Cali. Now, Twizzler, am I right? Am I wrong? I mean, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. But we had a fella on YouTube talk about black people been gang banging out in Cali for 80 years, that would go back to what, 1985. He said ever since the ending of the civil rights movement. But yeah, that's not 80 years ago.
And the first real known gangs is from Chicago. The Bloods and the Decepticons and all of them. Everything else spread out across the country after that. You know what I'm saying? So if you had gangs in California, I don't know if people called it gangs like that back then. I would have to look that up. but it was more just like the neighborhood boys. But it might have been called Kings of California. Was that like that, Twizzle?
What's up, everybody? Shout out to the room. Shout out to my brother Benji in here. It seems like we're going to have to California educate these people. You understand me? I'm in Northern California. And one thing about Northern California, we don't have Bloods and Crips up here. You know what I'm saying? That's my brothers in the Southern California. And my brother was, my sister was married to a dude that was a Crip. He was 7 years older than me. And if he was alive right now, he would be 57. And he told me he was born a Broadway gangster. You know what I'm saying? So that culture is what it is down there. And it's not so much gangs. They say it's a gang for the outsiders, but to the insiders, it's the neighborhood, the place where you were born into. It's dudes who you went to elementary school with, junior high school. It's people who you grew up with, the people who you know, and people who you stuck with. You know, white society call us the gangs, but it's niggas like me. I call them my partners. I call them my folks, niggas who I went to school and grew up with. You know what I'm saying? But that's how white society want to, you know, characterize it for the simple fact, you know, everything we do, they got to downplay it. You know what I'm saying? Because as we was just talking about earlier, on how these old niggas on this app running their mouth dry snitching, telling on themselves, you got to understand, at our time, everything we was doing was frowned upon. Like this shit right now that's making these little YNs famous, what's making these little YNs famous, we had to hide it. We had to stay in the shadows. We had to act like Jason Bourne and James Bond because we was being watched. And not only that, the law was on us so tough, we couldn't even walk down the street too deep. If we were a gang. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, how should I say, right now it's kind of glorified. It's kind of mainstream. You know what I'm saying? What's going on right now, because you got a lot of wannabes that want to be that. So they get up under a lot of old washed up dudes who ain't got a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out, offer them a few $1,000 and they sit up here and tell old stories, you know? I be having all my little young homies from the neighborhood be trying to holler at me, but you know, hey, the game is to be sold, not told. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not finna open up a can of worms that I can't close. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna do it, I start my own podcast. But yet, it's not about speaking on what was. It was just more speaking to educate people on what we went through. You know, the experience that we had, to let them know no matter how hard you have it, you got to keep fighting and you got to keep pushing, because as a man, you can never give up. As a man, nobody's going to care for you and be there for you. And as a man, life gets better once you learn that you on your own and you don't got nobody. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that's all I want to say. Shout out to the room, Joe.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was just, you know, I just saw the comment on YouTube, and you know, I'm assuming I don't, gentlemen or whoever said that, you know, black people been gang banging in Cali for 80 years, and I'm like, well, hold on, like 80 years? That would be you talking about the 40s, and I'm like, and there was no gang banging in the 40s in no California, to my knowledge. And there wasn't gang banging in many places in this country. Black people gang banging. When we think about gang banging, you're really talking about people thinking about maybe the 70s and you know, the 80s and stuff like that as well too. So I was just, you know, I know you're from and of course you're not from Southern California like you told us, but I know you're from Cali, and I know you know some of the history and stuff out there. So we just wanted to kind of you know, get your opinion on that matter as well. But shout out to you, Twizzle.
Hey, News Chart, I just want to say this. It's the perfect documentary. That dude, rest in peace, Bone from Athens Park, or wherever he's from, he made a documentary called The Bastards of the Party. And he break it down brilliantly, of the whole origins of gangbanging in LA, on how LA started from, you know, the Zoot Suits riots all the way up to the racist police, to Mickey Cohen and all that. He break it all the way down. So I suggest anybody curious, just check that out. It's called Bastards of the Party. You know what I'm saying? It's very good.
All right. Appreciate that, Twizzle. Got brother Moku up here. Moku, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Twizzle. I appreciate that, WPI. Y'all definitely spit some game. But I'm going to tell y'all real talk, and it's according to the evidence, the original motherfucking gangbangers, excuse my friends, the original gangbangers in the United States is the white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? You starting with the Klan, you can go back far as all that, you know, with the slave catchers and all that. Look, that was the original gang banging. So if you want to really talk about some gang banging, they was the ones that taught us, and we was taught and everything that we did, I have to agree with Twizzle. It wasn't on no gang banging. That's what they demonized it as. You know what I'm saying? When we wanted to defend ourselves, then they called it gang banging. You know what I'm saying? But really, all it was us defending the children in our hoods. You know what I'm saying? Because they was the first ones to get attacked. The women and the children. They ain't come for the men. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talking about cowardice white supremacists that come for you in hoods, that come for little children in hoods. Emmett Till, the ones that came for Emmett Till, they was the original gangbangers. Them lynchers that was lynching us and without sanctuary, lynching us from the trees and having their children smile up at us. They was the real gangsters. You know what I'm saying? They was the ones going around gang banging and terrorizing. You know what I'm saying? What we did was a reaction to that. You know what I'm saying? Because we had to defend ourselves and protect what was ours. So I get real, I don't know, it get real kind of touchy when people try to put that gang behavior on us victims, like, oh, we just came out the womb and started coming with the gats, and like we got the resources to really gang bang somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I just definitely wanted to bring that into the atmosphere because a lot of people, especially victims of racism, but more importantly, these white people try to act like we ain't learned this behavior from their treacherous behaviors. You know what I'm saying? I land there.
All right, appreciate that, bro. Go ahead, DJ. You got it.
Yeah, for sure. No, what I was gonna say, was something Twizzle said before. Say that video.
Don't you hate that, dude? Don't you hate that? You be ready about to say something, you just, man, I hate that. My phone, dude. But the movie was, I'm blowing too, and I'm busting this. I'm popping this port.
I'm thinking about other things too, so you know what I mean. I'm in my backyard.
I got a few of them for you. The movie is called.
Hey, real quick though, what I was just gonna ask you though. So even with that being said, continue on. So even with that being said, so in that documentary you just brought up, was that brother detailing like you said he was born into it, and if he was this old, he'd be like maybe 55 or something like that. So obviously him being born into it was already going on. So in that documentary, not to be a spoiler alert, but what was going on where he was saying, hey, look, my parents in the 50s, they was doing this or whatever, from what they told me type argument when you talk to your old head, you know what I mean?
All right, to be clear, that was my brother that I was speaking on that said that was born into it. My brother-in-law that was born into it, and unfortunately, he passed away in 2002. He succumbed to the streets out there. But Bone, the dude Bone who made that documentary, I think he was born down there. And he come from how it was down there. They was well off. And they didn't really get serious until the late 70s and late 80s. But he goes far as back to where he said something that was really significant on how when the Watts riot kicked in, it was a mayor that was down there who specifically put an edict out, and he put a jobs wanted poster to all white men from the South. He wanted white men from the South to come to LA to police black people because he know white men from the South had a stronger hatred for black people than white men from California. You know what I'm saying? He break that down in that documentary. And it's, like I say, if you get a chance to check it out, I think it was on HBO, but I don't know. You might be able to go to YouTube and check it out. It's called Bastards of the Party. Basically like the bastards of the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? Well, he
you was saying that it is on HBO, bro.
Yeah, he's basically saying that the Crips and Bloods are the bastards of the Black Panther Party.
Oh, okay, so that documentary, it's on HBO?
I think so.
But they had it on HBO a while back.
It's called what now? Bastards? I want to write this down because I want to see this. Bastards of the community?
No, Bastards of the Party.
Bastards of the Party. Okay, Bastards of the Party.
When I first saw it, it was on HBO. You know what I'm saying?
It's in the chat. And in the Jumbotron, left-hand side, look in the chat and look in the Jumbotron, Bastards of the Party, official trailer.
It was good. I remember when I first saw it, I went and got like about 7, 8 of my partners, and we all sat down and watched it. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically telling you the Southern California culture and how it started down there. You know, he talked about on how basically like how Tariq said on how a lot of black families came to the West. Like I even talk about on how black families came to the North. A lot of black families came to the North because when World War II started, they want to build up these ports, they want to build up these defenses, and they want to build up a lot of stuff. And what better labor than black labor? You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. Real talk. I got to catch that documentary. Let me ask you something too, because like we talking about the black town in Ohio, this historically black town, and then they form their own little basically security and safety patrol and stuff out there. You in Cali, and I know the brothers, y'all numbers are lower out there than what it used to be. Do you think that's something that could work out there? And I know Northern California, Southern California is all different and whatnot, but do you think that's something? Because in some of these areas, we did spaces where it was like something like 2%, 3% black, and they were having some issues even with a lot of the Latinos out there, and the kids were being bullied in school and this and that or whatever. Do you think having some kind of group, some kind of protection like that out there in some of those areas would be effective for the brothers and sisters out there?
Unfortunately, California ain't what it used to be. The black population in California is decreasing left and right. So that's why these, California is a sanctuary state. And Oakland, where I'm at, San Francisco, are sanctuary city. So they got the law on their side. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of black people left. Like when the pandemic hit, a lot of black people left. They went to Vegas, Texas, Arizona, and a lot of them went back south. They got that money and they went back south. So that's it's like California is really falling, man. And that's why I'm glad Donald Trump made English the #1 law out here, because right now they're trying to teach people out here Mandarin. They're trying to teach little kids in school Mandarin, bro. Come on, man. Would you ever thought of that? Whoever would have thought that we had to learn Chinese out here, bro? But that's what they doing, because I really think they sold California to China, because I'm seeing more, of those out here than anything else. And I never, China, Asia, the Asian community, they hid behind their red walls. They hid behind their red veils for almost 100 years. They never tried to cause issue. They never wanted attention. They just wanted to do their little thing, gamble, prostitution, all that behind their own business. But now they're buying for power. They're trying to go for power. And, one thing us black people need to realize is all these other groups, these foreign groups, they trying to buy for power over us. And us black Americans, we need to stand up like ain't nobody gonna have no power over us, not even Europeans. We rule ourselves. We control ourselves. And that's what you saying, News Trotter. We police ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And we really need to start standing on that, man, because we really need to come together and start taking care of home, because worrying about everybody else, the neighbors gonna come in the house and steal our whole household, our wife, kids, and our resources. And that's what's happening right now. Worrying about everybody else. It's time to take care of home, man.
Real talk, man. I mean, and like you said, y'all numbers, that's the only thing I was saying. I said in the space earlier, like this was a black majority town. I don't know what the population of the town is. I know we think of towns are smaller than cities, but as I was asking everybody earlier, we know in large black metropolitan areas, nobody's worried about neo-Nazis or Klanmen or, white supremacists, marching through the streets or doing anything like that or whatever. But I was just wondering in some of these smaller enclaves where you have black people at and stuff like that, if them getting together, forming little groups and stuff like that might be beneficial to them. But like you said, I know you guys popped the number wise. Everything has changed out there compared to what it used to be as well, too. So, just something I wanted to, get everybody's opinion on as well, too. But shout out to all your brothers and sisters out there. And, Twiz, I know everybody's talking about the black majority state returning and stuff like that. I don't know if that's something that you guys may be interested in down the road or whatever. And I know sometimes, you're born somewhere and you don't want to leave or whatever. You're so used to the scene and everything else like that. But, maybe that might be something potentially down the road. And when we say that, we understand that not all black people would actually, get up and move clear across the other side of the country, because you got to also think, everybody doesn't have the money and, the finances and everything else like that. And some people just don't want to leave, man. That's where the family was at, and, that's where they're going to stay at. But, potentially that's something that could potentially, as we build numbers up in certain areas in the South or whatever. And, the vast majority of Black people, to be honest, never left the South. Like nobody in my family ever really left the South unless they went into military or something like that. All my family is in the South and the deep South at that. So, we never, and I'm talking about aunts and uncles on both sides, cousins. You might have a cousin here or there that might be in the Midwest, but, for the vast majority, 99% of us, 99% of us, we ain't never left the South. So, it's just, it is what it is. In fact, my family actually went further down South because my dad's side, they're from the Carolinas, and my mom's people are from Alabama, and, they decided to make Florida their home over 100 and some odd years ago. So they actually decided to go further South than where they were at. So, it's just one of those things, man. And I wish Florida was one of them states, to be honest, that we could flip into a Black majority state, but that ain't gonna never happen.
Florida is sinking. Florida will be underwater. Half of Florida is gonna be underwater in 50 years. You understand? Florida is limestone, and all that limestone is eroding. So Miami, Fort Lauderdale, all that's gonna be underwater in the next 15 years.
They always say
next
that.
50 years.
They say the same thing about California, that eventually a big one.
We waiting on that earthquake.
Yeah,
we waiting on that earthquake that's gonna knock the Bay Area into the ocean. And we had an earthquake last week, the other day. So we deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they've been saying that same thing. Mocha, you
Same
got it.
thing out here in the East Coast and the Tri-State. A lot of the places are like, Long Island, Staten Island, they out in the ocean. That thing gonna be underwater. And a lot of these places out here is built on garbage heaps too. Let's not forget that.
You got it, Mocha.
That's serious right there, DJ. And I was just about to bring that up. And was about to say the same thing that Toda said to Twizzle about Cali. They've been talking about Cali going underwater for like the last, probably all of me and Twizzle like put together.
I remember the big earthquake in '89, bro. I was there. I was walking down the streets, bro, when the streets, just imagine you just look down the road and you can see down the road like a mile or so. Then the road, everything just started moving like the ocean. What would you do, bro? Not only that, where I'm at, we have hills and mountains of at least 4,000 feet. What would you do if you start seeing them? Like, how like when you grab your blanket and you shake it and they do that roll? What would you do if you start seeing mountains and hills do that? You know what I mean? That day really let me know how insignificant I was. I really felt like I was a bug under a glass dome that somebody was watching me. You know what I'm saying? You know how they had ant farms and stuff like that? That's how I felt when that earthquake hit, because everything was moving. And like, if y'all Google the earthquake in '89, we had the famous freeway. And as we were just talking about our Black communities, one thing about the Black Panthers, when Black Panthers started in West Oakland, where I was from, and what made West Oakland so unique, West Oakland was surrounded by freeways. So back in those days, the police couldn't go past the freeway. If the police went past the freeway, that was an all-Black section, so it was all the way up. Once the Black Panthers used to patrol that area like the police. So if they saw a police car, the Black Panthers was on them. It was like they used to beef like Crips and Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Once they saw each other, it was up. So once that freeway went down during that earthquake, it became wide open. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget that day. Just Google the earthquake in Oakland in '89. That freeway pancake, because it was a double-decker freeway that stacked on top of each other. When that roll hit, man, that freeway just collapsed just like a domino table. Like, you know how like you line up dominoes and they just fold like bloom, 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 bloom? That's how that freeway fell, dude. 1989, bro.
I remember that because that's when they had the World Series that was going on.
World Series.
Yeah, I was in elementary school. Yeah.
Man, dude, don't you know the East Coast media? It was two East Coast medias committed suicide. I think not committed suicide. It was two East Coast medias that was about to jump out of the window because they've never been in an earthquake before. When the earthquake hit, they freaked the F out. Like, they freaked the F out. There was like people had to hold them like, just sit still. Like, when an earthquake happened, the two places you get is under a table and in a doorway, a door jam. Those are the strongest places. Because that way you don't have to worry about nothing falling on. You know what I'm saying? But the people who came out here from the World Series for the East Coast, there's two of them damn near jumped out the window. And right now, I used to work for the Coliseum. They talk about that right now to this day. We have like a celebration of that, the earthquake of the World Series, the Giants against the A's, the earthquake in '89. That was crazy that day. I never forgot that, man. That's like a stamp in my memory, bro.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, DJ Mocha. Y'all got it.
Yeah, go ahead, Mogo.
I was just going regard to what Twizzle was saying. Yeah, I remember that day too, and I was actually graduating from middle school when that happened, and
I was in middle school too, bro. I just got out of 8th grade.
right, me too. Me too. And that's why it's so significant. I started laughing when you was talking about it, because those two reporters that damn near jumped out the window. You're right. They weren't. They were, even after they were interviewed, they were talking about how they're so used to having to get in the tub, or because we over this side, they worried about tornadoes and hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? So it was funny, but it was real. You know what I'm saying? That was definitely real experience. I remember that. I was actually old enough to remember that. So that was I think that was probably one of the most powerful earthquakes y'all had on record at that time. That's what they was talking about.
As in our lifetime, the biggest one was in San Francisco. I think it was 06, 07, and that's something that was always lived in infamy. But then when 89 hit, that just like put San Francisco over the rug, because that changed the geographics of the East Bay area. But then it was another.
Do you remember what it was on the Richter scale? I think it was like.
I think it was 7.9. Right? 7.9. It was either 7.9 or 8.1.
I remember them numbers.
8 point. Any earthquake that's over 5 point something, you're gonna have ground shaking, buildings collapsing, and you better run for your life. And but I remember it was one recently in 2014 in Napa. You know what I'm saying? Napa, California, the wine country where the best wine in the world come from in America. That's where it was at. And I'll never forget, you 100% correct, you East Coast guys. We had a food service company from the East Coast called Spectrum that took over the Coliseum. And then when it happened, we all laughing at everything, because we come to work the next day, the management was freaking out. 2 of them left. 2 of them went back home talking about they can't deal with this. They were scared. Our chef, he was from Long Island. He told me he came to work crying. She told him about he grabbed his wife and his child. They got in the bathtub. That was the scariest crap that they ever been through and everything, and we all started laughing at him. And he got, East Coast people, you know how y'all get. You know what I mean? He was like, bro, get in the tub, bro. You get in the door jam and everything. He's like, bro, I'm going back to Long Island. Screw you, California. You know what I mean? That was heck of funny, bro, because he said what you said. He got in the tub. We like, you gonna get in the tub, dude. You get in the tub, stuff can still fall on you. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in the doorway.
Right.
The best way is the front door, the back door, or you try to get up under a table. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to worry about something falling on you. That table is sturdy enough to support you. Even if the roof fell, that table is still sturdy enough to support you. You know what I'm saying? Just a little tip for if you ever come to California and experience an earthquake.
Thanks for that. But that was funny, yeah.
All right.
See, y'all learn something new every day up here on News Total. See that? And how to survive an earthquake by Twizzle. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I mean?
No, it's funny because the East Coast dudes, when it happened, the first place they run to the bathtub. And we all laugh like, why do you run to the bathtub? Because like you said, y'all deal with a lot of hurricanes and stuff out there. And that's what we heard. Like with a hurricane, y'all go to the bathtub. I never understand that shit with a bath. What you go to the bathtub for, you know?
Yeah, with that hurricane, it take everything off the ground. So that tub being porcelain, most tubs that'll protect you. If it's up in the air, it's like a rolling ball. You'll be more protected in the tub, and it makes sense, especially when you be hit. When you ever got hit with a hurricane, you definitely know, like, yeah, stay your ass in the tub to keep you alive.
I know you don't cuss in here, News Trotter, but you got me effed up if you think I'm finna go through a tornado. You got me effed all the way up.
But here's the thing. Here's a problem. But sometimes with these hurricanes that we have down here, they spawn off tornadoes. So you have to, you could get a double impact. Matter of fact, last year we had a tornado come in May, I believe, and then we actually here in Tallahassee. We got hit by 3 tornadoes, and one day we had 3 tornadoes hit. And then a couple months later, we got hit by a hurricane. Luckily, the hurricane we was nervous because they thought this hurricane was going to be a damn Category 4. So we was nervous about that. Luckily, the hurricane it didn't hit us flush like it was. So, we've had some the past year and a half. Man, we done had some crazy weather here. Just in the North Florida, just in Tallahassee, we've been hit by hurricanes. We've been hit by tornadoes. And hell, a couple months ago, we had a snowstorm. The first time I ever seen snow in my life. So, I mean, it's just, we've had some really, really crazy.
You seen snow? You seen snow in Florida?
Yeah. It's
I've never seen snow. I'm 50 years old, and I've never seen snow growing up in the Bay Area, bro. I've never seen snow. Like the stuff we see on TV, like Game of Thrones, like when they're north above the wall. I've never seen snow before, bro.
Hey,
this was
the first time that I saw snow. I mean, I know a couple times it was like some little flakes that dropped out the sky.
Did you freak out?
It looked like it was up north, yeah, because the snow lasted for like 3 days. It took 3 days for the snow to actually melt here. So it was nothing. It was nothing like I ever and I told my kids, I said, y'all may not ever see this in your lifetime again, So I was just like, hey, this is the first time I've ever seen. I think one other time in Tallahassee they had snow, and I think that was like in 1958 or something like that, which means my dad would have been like 7 years old at the time. My dad's 73 now, I think. So that lets you know how long ago it was. So that was the first time I ever seen it. So like I say, in the past year, we done got hit by tornadoes, hurricanes, and we had a damn snowstorm come. And never thought I would see snow in North Florida. Never thought I would ever see it, but we did. We got by 2 inches of snow, and I think Pensacola got by 4 inches. That's how much snow it was.
Now that both of y'all talking, you know what? I've never seen rain in Southern California.
Here he go. But I swear on my mother's stove, bro, I've never seen it snow before. And I got a lot of people call me a-holes because of that. You know what I mean? How am I an a-hole? You need to go to Tahoe. You need to go to the mountains, but that's cold. I'm a man of the sun. Give me palm trees, sunny beaches, and sand and bikini. That's what I'm interested in. If you get the snow, shit. I mean, excuse my language, but what's beautiful? I mean, the snow is pretty and all, but the snow is dangerous. You can die in the snow. You can get hypothermia, frostbite. You can get frost lungs, breathing that cold air in. You got me twisted.
I'm not going to lie, bro. You can die in that snow. And frostbite, that's one of the most common things up here, like the East Coast, like Northeast, especially like Jersey and Buffalo, all of
shout out to
like
the brothers in the Midwest. Yeah,
they be dying for frostbite.
Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, and
especially Chicago. Gosh, it'd be treacherous cold up there.
I heard that wind, dude. They say that wind is man.
That wind is terrible, bro.
I'll say whatever you put on, that wind still gonna cut through it.
Green Bay.
And dude told her, it was cool because it only lasted 2 or 3 days. It was cool. Everybody got to come out and play in the snow, but I was glad when that mess was gone, brother. You hear me?
I was glad too because that damn thing had froze. That thing had froze my damn air condition, and in the house, we trying to turn the heat on. It took like I had to go out. I had to knock ice off of the air condition. It took about 5-6 hours for the damn heat to come up. One morning we woke up. It was like 50-some degrees in the damn house. So I was glad.
Hey, dude, that's what my uncle was saying because he said that cold is gonna hit y'all down south hard because y'all not prepared for that. Y'all houses is not made for that. You know what I'm saying? So when that cold hit y'all, it kind of like hit y'all like a shot in the gut. Shout out to our brothers in Houston. Remember that cold spree they've been having the past couple of years when you've been seeing they got icicles on their elbows and star wires and bulbs. Shout out to them. I ain't never seen cold like this, bro. I thought it didn't get cold in Houston because of y'all. The South has that humidity. See, on the West Coast, we don't have humidity. You know what I'm saying? But once you cross that, once you get down there to a certain angle, to a certain degree of the, you know what I'm saying, of that parallel, you hit that humidity, and that humidity is a whole nother game. You know what I'm saying? People ain't ready for that humidity. I know I'm from the West Coast. we don't deal with it. But when I got down there, I kind of got used to it after a few days. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole other game. You know, it's like when you in the I tell my people, it's like you in a shower. It's like you in the shower all day. That's how it is down south. You in the shower all day in the sauna.
Like
it's hot, sweaty, and muggy. You got to take at least 3-4 showers a day. You know what I'm saying?
It's nothing. You know, it's nothing.
Don't wear no deodorant either. I know they be stank down there.
Like it's nothing.
I'd rather deal with the heat any day besides dealing with that cold.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's, you know, we get in the 20s and stuff sometimes down here. We've even had the teens and stuff. So, you know, I when people said it was gonna snow and stuff, and they were saying it on TV, I was like, yeah, y'all said that before, and I was like, ain't gonna snow or nothing like that. So I was like, okay. And I think the night before, I saw like a few little drops like dropping down. I said, is it snowing out there? I said, I don't know. I woke up the next morning, man, and it was like I was in Antarctica. Was
it a whiteout?
Why? It was, everything was literally covered with ice, man. Everything. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can find the picture at my house, and I'm gonna post it in the Jumbotron. Give me a second.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Wasn't it quiet as I don't know what? The most quiet you ever heard it, right?
Oh yeah. It was.
Hey, shout out to Florida, man.
The kids, they loved it.
Shout out to y'all, because I don't see how y'all deal with that. Like I said, it was cool because it only lasted 1 or 2 days, but having to deal with that every time I got cold, there's no way I'd be able to deal with that living in the South. So y'all got that.
Yeah, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was out there in December, and that was like our summer, so I was loving it. You know what I'm saying? But man, I know they was going crazy out there. Florida, snow in Florida, damn. I know they didn't know how to act.
Man, I'm over here in tears listening to Tony and Ray. No, but I couldn't turn on my AC.
You should have seen me, man. Because normally down in Florida, you come down here, you turn your car on about 3 minutes, let it warm up, you good to go, bro. I turned my shit on. Excuse me, news. I turned my heater on for a good 15 minutes, bro. I go out there, the snow's still on there. My windshield is covered. My roof is covered. I'm late to work. I don't have any snow tires. And I drove about 10 miles per hour to work, bro. Worst day of my life. Y'all can have that. I can't do it, man.
Just imagine having to shovel yourself out your driveway. Just imagine having to do that every morning, shoveling yourself out your driveway to the streets.
And then have to go to work after that. Oh my God.
Hey, Twizzle, since I moved into my new place, I done shoveled at least 7 times, bro, within a month and a half, bro. And I'm talking about thick snow, bro. And I was sick the whole time. I've been sick for like a month, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go.
Dude, I'm fighting one right now, man. I'm fighting cold right now, bro.
Well, better, brother. Start taking whole tablespoons of honey. That's what helped me out.
I'm better now. Dude, hey, the first 2 days was the hardest, but I'm better now. I'm just trying to get, I'm just trying to keep motherfuckers away from me because it's these other motherfuckers that keep getting me. You know what I mean?
Language, brother. What's your language?
Yeah, excuse me. Hey, you know what, News Trotter? You're going to have to give us a free Friday one day, News Trotter. You know what I mean? You have to give us some free Fridays so we can just flow, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody keep tripping. Everybody like, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Everybody keep tripping, man.
You gotta come to the late night place so you can say what you want to say.
News Trotter gonna have to give us a free Friday, man, so we can get some free ones on, man. Because everybody keep tripping like we got little shoestrings. You know?
You know what would be funny? If Toda gave everybody a day, if Toda gave a day for that, everybody wouldn't cuss on that day. I bet you any amount of money.
Everybody be in there like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
No, that's the proverbial when the cat's away, the mice gonna play. Oh, it's open. Oh man, people gonna let it go because they know that they ain't gonna be able to let it go. So man, people gonna be blasting off up in there, man. And I'm gonna be one of them. I can't wait till you open a free Friday, man, because I want to come in this MIF or flashing. I want to get the car up here, man.
Hey, real quick, up in the jump.
Give us a free Friday, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, real quick, up in the jumbotron on the left, I put the snowstorm like on the side of my house and whatnot with that snowdrop there. So you get a chance, check it out.
No, I'm good, man. I'm staying away from everything.
See, you see
that
snow
snow got me staying away from everything white.
You see more
sugar,
bro.
sugar, flowers, snow. I don't want nothing.
There ain't no snow, Naka. You know what I'm saying? I see 4 points, yo. Snow up here, you can't see your leg. You know what I'm saying?
This is Florida. This is Florida. You talking about? This Florida, you talking about? We in a peninsula. We almost on an island. We ain't supposed to see snow at all.
Yeah, hey DJ, that little bit of snow you see on the ground, that's enough to shut down schools, a military base, the highways, etc. We don't play down here.
We were shut down for what 2-3 days up here because of this snow, huh?
I saw.
When you want to invade the South, all you gotta do is find a way to change the weather, boy. We are screwed.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, but I'm going to go ahead. I got to go ahead and do something. So I'm going ahead and close this down for the night, man. We'll be back.
You always do this just so it get good. You always do this.
But I think DJ got a late night space plan. Don't you, DJ?
Don't pass the buck.
Oh, yeah.
Don't pass the buck on DJ.
Yeah, because DJ do the part twos. Him and Professor now.
Yeah, we will do part 2. But we doing it's Tuesday. AKA Tiny Home Tuesday on Funded Social. So yeah, I gotta get y'all social account. Get in the jumbotron, get in the chat, say it right there. We'll be live at 10:30 in the All About Real Estate community, showing some tiny homes. This is our new downtown where we do to have fun now. So we watch tiny homes, yo.
I'm glad you said that. Can I say this before we get off?
Go ahead.
Say this?
Go ahead.
Everybody that's in real estate right now, do you pay attention to what Donald Trump said about how these companies are spending billions putting new chip plants and companies out here? They just announced that they're finna spend damn near $50 billion in Indiana. And I forget, and I'll never forget, I was telling people, Gary, Indiana is finna be the next real estate boom. If you got at least $5,000, some $1,000, go buy you some property in Gary, Indiana, because Gary, Indiana is wide open. Even Damon Dad said that. That's finna be the next real estate boom in the Midwest. And now all these companies is finna start investing all these billions of dollars, putting these plants in these new companies out here. Try to buy up as much as that cheap land, them cheap houses, as much as you can, because that's going to be valuable real estate right now. I'm serious. Listen what Donald Trump said. He said all these companies like Boeing, I can't name them offhand, but I know for sure it's about to be billions of investment in the Midwest, especially in Indiana, because they finna put another car plant out there. You know what I'm saying? Just like how it was at that Mason, Tennessee, how they're finna put that electric battery plant out there. Man, if y'all can buy some property in the Midwest, especially right now, the Rust Belt, it's finna be prime real estate, y'all. Do it. Cause man, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Long as ain't no snow there.
Regardless, you just there to do business. You're not there to live. You know
I'm just joking, brother Twister.
But I'm serious. I'm giving game, man. I'm giving game. You can go to YouTube right now and type in Gary, Indiana. It's this white boy named Nick Johnson. He drove through there. They got whole neighborhoods boarded up, shut down. You know what I'm saying? They got people out there buying houses for $1,000. And you can put $50,000 and renovate it. And then once these foreigners come in, these investors come in, you can turn around and sell it for $300,000-$400,000. These are investment opportunities, y'all. We need to jump on that. I'm telling y'all, I'm giving game. You know, this is game to be sold. I'm telling it. We better jump on that. Look into the Midwest right now. And look at all these investments that Donald Trump talking about that these people finna start putting into America. It's all gonna be in the Midwest. So buy y'all some property and some land. You know what I'm saying? I drive my plane there.
All right. Appreciate that, Twizzle. On that note, man, we're gonna go ahead and close it out.
Hey, my bad. I was gonna say, get in the jumbotron top left-hand side. If y'all want to come up to our real estate community, I'm gonna just go live within a couple minutes, but just make an account so that way you can download the app and get the ping on your phone. But we'll be back later tonight, maybe about 1 o'clock over here on X. So we'll be still doing a part 2. But Tiny Homes on Funded Social. Let's go. Go ahead.
On that note, we're gonna go ahead and close it down. We will be back in the News Total Space probably next Monday. Be off the rest of the week, guys. Got some more work to do, so we're gonna holler at y'all. Peace, be safe, and we will see y'all then. Good night.